is Mrs. Lee here. It's Assembly number 1 and it's the week beginning the 9th of May 2022. How are you? I hope that you're okay. Oh, sun's shining today. Right, shall we start with our routine? What's the time, Mr. Wolf? Well, I can see that the long hand, which is the minute hand, is on the number 6. And I know that that means, that's right, past. And I can see that the short hand, which is the hour hand, is pointing to in between the 9 and the 10. I know that I need to say 9:30. You say it. Good. 9:30. But what's changed? Well, our Portuguese language of the month is staying the same. Have you seen our display? Ready? 3, 2, 1. Did you see? There's lots of things to do on display. If you've got any photographs or any books about the language, Portuguese or Portugal or Brazil, please bring them in so that we can all see them too. Remember how to say hello in Portuguese? Olá. You say it. Super. Ooh, our Makaton sign has changed. I'll bring it closer to you. It's one we've had before though. Can you read this word? Kind. Right, it's a tricky one. You start with your finger pointing down and you come up to a thumb. So your finger is pointing down, come up to a thumb. And this means to be kind. To be kind. I don't know if you can see that closely, but on my display, I've changed it. Last week, we were looking at and we were celebrating Eid. Because lots of Muslim families in our school weren't here at the beginning of the week because they were at home celebrating Eid, which is a festival that is celebrated by Muslims. If you want to know more about Eid, then you need to go to the research centre. And in the research centre, there are lots of books. Do you want to see? Okay, ready? 2, 1. Did you see all those books? Now they are there for you to read if you want to find out more about Eid. Or if you see Mrs. Ali around, you could ask her. I'm sure she'll tell you more. This week, I want to look and celebrate somebody who isn't alive anymore. The person I want to celebrate is called Florence Nightingale. Let me show you her. This is Florence Nightingale. Now, Florence Nightingale lived over 200 years ago. In fact, it's her birthday this week. Gosh, she would be 202 years old. So, she's not here anymore. But I don't know if you can see my display. You just bring it down. All the books are there. So while you're waiting to eat your lunch, you could pick up one of these books and find out more about Florence Nightingale. Right. Now, Florence Nightingale, I've linked to our Makaton sign because Florence Nightingale was can you remember what this means? That's right, kind. She was a very kind person. She helped lots and lots of soldiers in the war who were very poorly, who'd been on the battlefields and had lots of nasty injuries and sickness. And she spent a lot of time with these soldiers and she thought very carefully about what she could do to make things better for them. And so much so, lots of the practices that we have now, like washing our hands before we do something, like maybe eat, or if the grown-ups were looking after you because you had hurt yourself and you needed some first aid, the grown-ups would wash their hands first to get rid of all that's right, the germs. Now that's something that Florence Nightingale thought about and thought was a good idea to stop infections. Ah, I'm so glad that Florence Nightingale was alive. Now, would you like to find out more about Florence Nightingale? Okay, here we go. We're going to watch a little video. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1.
Hello, children. My name is Florence Nightingale. You've probably heard of me. I was a nurse in the 1800s. Would you like to hear my story? Well, would you? Very well. I was born in 1820 in the Italian city of Florence. Although my parents were English and I grew up in England, in Matlock, Derbyshire, and Romsey in Hampshire. My family were very wealthy. My sister, Parthenope, and I had our own tutor. We didn't go to school like you probably do. When I was a girl, I loved reading about places around the world and about science. My tutor said that I was very clever. I knew that when I grew up, I didn't just want to get married and be someone's wife. I wanted to go out into the world and do something important. I decided that I wanted to become a nurse. My parents were not very happy with the idea. I was determined to be a nurse. It was the only thing I ever wanted to be. I got my first nursing job in the 1850s. I was shocked by how dirty the hospital was. So I made sure everything was clean. And do you know what? Because the hospital was cleaner, fewer patients died. People got to hear about my ideas, and in 1854 I was offered a job by the government.
Dear Miss Nightingale, I have heard that you are a very good nurse with lots of ideas to help patients. Many British soldiers are fighting in the Crimean War. When they are wounded, they are taken to hospitals near the battlefield. There are no nurses to help these poor soldiers. Could you train nurses and bring them here to help? This will be a difficult job, but you are needed desperately. We hope that you will say yes, don't you know? Yours sincerely, Sidney Herbert, Secretary of War.
I was honoured. This was a chance to make a real difference to people who are ill and suffering. I wanted to get started straight away and gathered 38 nurses to travel with me. The battlefields of the Crimea were a long way from England. It took many weeks for us to get there. We didn't actually swim, we travelled by ship. When my nurses and I arrived at the hospital in Scutari, we could not believe how bad the conditions were. The injured soldiers did not have clean water to drink. The bed sheets, the bandages, the floors and walls, everything was filthy. Flies buzzed everywhere, and rats and cockroaches ran between the beds. The smell was dreadful. It wasn't a surprise that so many soldiers were dying in the hospital. I'm not having this, I thought. I knew exactly what to do. I got organised. Quickly, there is no time to lose. We have to help these poor soldiers. Listen very carefully, I will say this only once. Go sweep the floors and throw away the rubbish. Scrub the walls and floors and make everything sparkle. There must be nowhere for germs to hide. Get clean bandages for everyone. Burn the dirty bandages. Change those filthy sheets for a freshly washed one. Bring clean water for the men to drink and good plain food for them to eat. Within weeks, my nurses had transformed the hospital. By keeping everything clean, tidy and organised, we made sure that the soldiers no longer suffered and many more got better and were able to go home. I knew that my ideas would work. Being clean and tidy helps to stop germs from spreading. But that was only part of my job. I also had to look after the poor soldiers in my care. My nurses and I made sure that they had their medicines, we kept their bandages clean, and we helped them when they were in pain. For some soldiers, nighttime could be a sad and lonely time, so I carried my lantern on the wards and talked to any soldiers who needed my help. The soldiers started to call me the Lady of the Lamp. Queen Victoria noticed my work. She sent me this wonderful brooch as a reward for my work in the Crimea. It is called the Nightingale Jewel. When I returned to Britain, I set up Nightingale Training School for Nurses at St Thomas's Hospital in London. There, I taught hundreds of nurses how to do their job properly and made sure that my ideas about cleanliness and good organisation were spread to all hospitals. I hope that you enjoyed my story. Goodbye.
There you go. Now you know more things all about Florence Nightingale, and hopefully you can remember all the things I talked about last week about Eid. Remember, around the school, there are so many things that you can go and look at lunchtime or at break times so that you can help yourself remember all the things that we've done. Right, are you ready? We're going to go for a little tour around the school and I'm going to show you different things. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. So lucky in our school to have so many lovely displays and so many things that you can look at and help you to remember more about what we have been learning about. Now I know that you've been really busy. Lots of you in Ready to Learn time and in Cool time have been asked to take part in our Platinum Jubilee badge competition. Now this is one that's come from class 4 and I really like the amount of detail that's in there and the information that's on the front. It tells me that the Queen has been the Queen for 70 years, since 1952 until 2022. Really good. Now, what we're asking for is everybody in school to try and make one of those badges, and then we're going to use our democracy rules. Do you remember democracy? Can you remember? I remember that democracy is about all of us voting to see which ones we like the best. So, at the moment, for class 4, there are loads of fabulous entries. What we want to do, though, is choose the favourite ones. And if this one was your favourite one, then you would vote for that one. And if there are lots and lots of people who vote for this one, then this will be class 4's badge, and we're going to make it into 30 little badges that you can all wear closer to the actual Jubilee, which is a celebration that's happening very, very soon. Now, just because I like that one doesn't mean that you need to like it. You might think, oh, do you know what? I really like this one. It's nice and simple. It's a nice green with a lovely purple. It just says 70 on the front, 70 years. That might be the one that you like, so you're going to vote for that one. Now, what we'll have at the end is 6 designs. 1 from class 1, 1 from class 2, 1 from class 3, 4, 5 and 6. And then you'll all have a badge that you can wear when we celebrate the Queen's Jubilee, which is happening very, very soon. Right, gosh, Mrs. Lee's done lots and lots of talking, hasn't she? Oh, school prayer. Remember, close your eyes, put your hands together. Help me to do the things I should, to be to others kind and good, in all my work and all my play, to grow more loving every day. Amen. Right, numbers in boxes for anybody I do catch doing any of those things. Bye!